All right, I'm going to start recording. So
Pretty
that's part of the
authentic.
story. That's part of the story, Michael. That's what it's about
Yeah.
is accountability. So just prior to me pushing the record button, what did you just tell me?
So I said to you, I'm sorry that I was late to our call, but I had to send out a send out card for today because I send it out every day religiously, and I knew we were going to have this call talking to people about sending out these cards. I couldn't have that call without doing the card for today, and it's just I just got home from an appointment. It's 2 o'clock. I don't have my first cup of coffee or my second until I do my card, and I needed my coffee before we did this, so now I can have my coffee.
All right. So you can kind
So
of
we
just
can break them apart, I guess.
take a deep breath, Michael, and then I want you to just introduce yourself. Tell people like who you are, what you do, where your market is, and then we're going to get into our conversation.
All right, fantastic. So my name is Michael Meier. I run the Meier team at Compass in New York City. I've been a real estate broker for 18 years. I went from running a very big team at Douglas Elliman in New York City to starting my own brokerage. I ran a brokerage for 10 years. I had 50 agents. We were a very successful boutique in the city, maybe like 5 or 6 firms our size in the city because they're all very big firms in our city. I merged partner with Compass earlier last year, and now continue to grow my team and my personal production um, in New York City, as well as I sell real estate in New Jersey.
Awesome. And okay, so we're talking send out cards today because you and I have been having conversations since when? January 21st?
Let's see, we've been having conversations around then. I don't have the exact date on me, but yeah, around then.
So Michael reached out to me and said, "Hey, tell me more about your coaching." And what did I say? I'm like,
You're
"Coaching?
like, I don't have what coaching.
I don't have a coaching program, but I'm a great coach, right?" So I said, let's just have conversations, Michael. And so every week on Thursday at 2 o'clock for the last 90-ish days,
Yeah.
we've been on this call. And part of the accountability was like, I'm not going to charge you for coaching, which, there's a lot of coaches out there. But here's what I expect from you. And I said, at least send at least one card every day. And so let's back up a little bit though, because you've been utilizing send out cards for some time. Do you remember how long ago it was that you signed up for send out cards?
If I log into the account, which I'm logged in right now because I just sent the card, is there a place that I can go to tell you the date? I don't know offhand exactly when I started. I can tell you how I started in send out cards though, and how this all came to be. So, Gail, I had interacted with Gail online, seen her in a lot of different groups, whether it be a moderator or whatnot, that you're active in a lot of different real estate groups. And somehow I got on your radar pre-COVID. I used to do a lot of speaking engagements and a lot of social media stuff. Somehow I got on your radar, and you sent me a card in the mail with something from Facebook, a picture that I had up there that came to my office with a box of cookies. And I was like, what is this? And it was really nice. And I put it in my office, like a card with like thank you cards that I would get from past clients or stuff like that. And I put this card up there, and then I reached out to you, and you told me about this send out cards thing. And then you recommended a book to me from the owner of Send Out Cards, and I read that book. And then I started engaging and using send out cards. And I did it at the beginning quite a bit. I had sent a card to a family member, family photos, and I tried to do like cards to all my like past sales where I would take a picture of the past property and I would send it to that property now. And I may have sold it 10 years ago, and there's a picture of the property, and I said, I sold this property, now it's yours. If you want to know, what it's worth today, let me know. I tried all these kinds of stuff, these little kind of gimmicky things. And then ultimately, I reached out to you because you're always doing really good things, and I'm trying to make my business. I am making my business more genuine and making my business less cold lead generated and more warm referral based. And that's a journey that I'm on, and I'm far into that journey, but I'm still at the beginning of it, really. And I was looking to connect with people who I thought were authentic, good people, because I've always felt that I become the people that I surround myself with. And so if I'm around like real estate sharks, I turn into a real estate shark, which is great. I mean, that's a good skill, but I wanted to surround myself more with people that were kind-hearted, genuine, good human beings, because I want my business to be more warm and I want to become a better human being. So that's, when I reached out to you, and I thought, wow, if she naturally does this kind of stuff and I talk to her once a week, some of it's got to rub off on me. And that's kind of how all this started. And it's been a successful journey. So it's rubbing off. So thank you.
Well, thank you for your kind words. And I have to say that, you rub off on me too. Iron sharpens iron. And, you have a desire. It starts with a desire. Like I'll go back, I've been using send out cards 14 years. And it started with a desire to just connect with people on a human level, which is what you were just talking about. And it is a journey. It took 3 to 5 years. It took about 3 years to get from starting to use send out cards on a regular basis, sending those heartfelt cards, staying in touch, to reach a really great referral based business. And being able to maintain that over years. It's one thing to reach that, right? It's another thing to maintain that over time. And how do you maintain something? You stay committed to and consistent with the process, and over time, that's where your success is just catching up with you. It's chasing you. And so I admire you. Now, I know that you use send out cards in a couple different ways, and I'd like to talk about both those ways because I think they're both important. There's the campaign feature where you can create one card that goes to a bunch of people, or there's the heartfelt card. So I want to start with the campaigns, because you told me that you targeted 3 different buildings, right? Correct me. So share with me how you are farming, utilizing send out cards on a monthly basis.
Yeah. I'm going to add one more thing, though, that I think is very important. I was thinking about leaving send out cards 3 months ago before I started coaching with you. And I was thinking about leaving send out cards, and I reached out to you. And the reason I was thinking was because there was just another system software that was going to make certain things easier for me to do. I reached out to you because I got to send out cards because of you. And, I just felt like I should talk to you before I do this. And you talked to me about it. You were very both encouraging about whatever direction I would take. You didn't try to force it on me. You tried to say you can introduce me to people to see if you could create the right solution. But at the end of the day, you said, whatever's good for you, do what's good for you. And then you sent me a box of cookies that came to my house. And we opened this box, and my wife is there, and she opens the box, and she's like, these cookies are very addicting. And she's like, who sent you these cookies? And I'm like, this is Gail. I just told her I'm like leaving the company that she kind of works with. And I'm like, I can't leave this company now. I can't do it. And ultimately I didn't. I'm fortunate that I didn't. There's still certain things that I'd like and not like. Nothing's perfect, but I have tripled down on send out cards for sure. And so it's just interesting. It's one of those things that I like learning from you is even when you're dealing with a client and in real estate, you sell a property too low, the client's not happy. How do you turn that around? Or you're trying to get your client to do something and they think you're being too pushy. How do you turn that around? Or just how do you turn people around coming from a place of generosity and love? And so first of all, it's just a good example of like that's a very special thing to be able to do. A very, very special thing. So, all right, you were asking me, how do I use the cards now? So first of all, you challenged me to do 1 card a day for 90 days, okay? Thought that was gonna be very difficult. The first week, maybe it was difficult. I didn't know who to send a card to, what to send it about. Like, I really didn't, I just didn't like it, whatever. And then I was always thinking about, I need to send out a card today. Who will I send it out? And next thing you know, I keep on finding people I want to thank for things. And I end up finding that I have more than one person to thank per day. And I still only do one a day because for me personally, it takes time to do it. It takes me longer. I spell check everything. And so, maybe for me, it takes longer than for someone else who just has good spelling and grammar right off the bat and goes and sends it. For me, I labor on it a little bit. So I do one a day. And I've been doing it the whole time, and I've done one a day. There's maybe 1 or 2 days that I missed here and there, and I would just double up a card on the next day, and lie in my spreadsheet and say that I did it on the right day. But I did it one every single day, and it has been very helpful for my business. I get so many people saying thank you, and it's just an energy that's kind of out there. I'm sending it to everybody, from people that work at managing agents at buildings that I do business in, where I don't need to send them a card. They're not going to send me any business. They can make my life a lot easier. They can review board packages much quicker. They can expedite things for me, or they can ignore me. And so I guess there's something to gain there. But it was more of, I need to send a card. Who do I send a card to today? They've done a lot of stuff for me. They work really hard for me. I don't know I'm not going to get anything out of it, but I should thank them. Let me send them a box of cookies. And then I send them cookies, and I get these like really warm-hearted responses from them, because they don't get that from any broker. Like, brokers don't usually send stuff to people that can't give them business in return. And just that email gives me a lot of energy, that I can play it forward. And honestly, I could probably use that email.
You said something really important, though. I wanna just like really bring this to the forefront, because you said that at the beginning, it was hard to think of people who to send cards to. But the more you did it, the more you engaged. And it goes back to what we focus on expands. And when you're looking for something to show up in your day, in your life, chances are it's going to be showing up because it's in your thoughts and in your mind about that. And so I just wanted to acknowledge that with you, because now, you said, now I think of like 2 or 3 people that I could say thank you to, because you're making it a part of your day to think about. When you wake up, you're thinking about, who am I going to send a card to? I have to send my card today. Who is that going to be? And then opportunities show up in your day that are like, that's it. That's the person I'm going to acknowledge and thank. So go ahead, Michael.
So today, I don't know what time it was, a couple of hours ago, I go to one of the buildings that I work in, and here, this is me. It's gonna be weird, sorry, and you can't see this. This is me, and I'm in the lobby. Okay. And there's a guy standing in the background. That's one of the doormen there. His name is Angel. And he works in the building, but he's usually not in the front desk. And I just stop by the buildings now to bring coffee and say hi to people. And so I said hi to him, and we talked, and he told me he's been there since 2007. And I said, can I take a selfie? And I took a selfie of myself, but he's really small in the background. He thinks I'm just taking a picture of me in the lobby. And then now what I was doing before this call was, I took that picture, I uploaded it to send out cards. I sent it to the doorman, and I said, Angel, and I put in there a little packet of brownies. And I said, you've been there since 2007 supporting this building. I really appreciate it. This is a little treat to say thank you. And now you will remember that. I did that to another doorman in the building. And now if I keep on doing this, like one time won't do anything, but if I keep on doing, this is a good start. Now he's a picture of me and my contact information and a card with brownies. So next time I bring coffee, he'll remember who this is. Next time someone in the building says, oh, I'm looking to move, maybe he'll call me. So, that was my card for today.
That's awesome. And we don't send the heartfelt cards. We don't send in with the thought of getting something in return. However, that is just how life works. When we acknowledge people and we make them feel appreciated, acknowledged, that has a reciprocal effect to it. When you take him coffee, of course he's going to remember who you are, because now, like, hey, you got a different mask on today, Michael. But think about that. It's over time. And like you said, this is what you're doing, not just for today, not just for tomorrow, but 3 years from now. If he's been there since 2007, chances are he's going to be there in 2024. And you told me another story about, a father and son that had been in the building that you were, visiting like for decades. So,
Yeah, and I sent him also brownies. And when I showed up to the building next time, not expecting he'd know who I am because he sees a million people and I came 2 weeks ago. He said, "Hey, Michael, how's it going?" And I was like, like he actually remembered me. So that's good. And yes, it's not that I expect Angel to send me a client. I don't know if he even has that kind of relationship with people. But when I walk into that building, if Angel is there, I'm gonna feel good because he's gonna feel good and he's gonna smile at me and say, "Hi, Michael," and right away I'm gonna feel like I'm at home. And if I then see a stranger in the building and I want to strike up a conversation that might be a lead for me, I'm gonna be in my home saying hi to someone. So there is a just being surrounded by people that appreciate you because you appreciate them, it in and of itself would have a desired effect.
that which
Um,
you appreciates.
it's a good one. Yeah.
Money, friendships, conversations. And I'm thinking about Angel. Angel has family. Angel knows people outside of that building. So it might not necessarily even be something within there. And this is what gets so exciting about send out cards, because we might have a conversation a year or 2 years from now, and you're going to say, "Remember that card I told you about with Angel? Well, let me tell you this story." And that's how it works.
Yeah.
So anything else that you want to share about this experience of your card a day over the last 90 days?
I'm sorry?
I said, anything else you'd like to share about your card a day experience over the last 90 days?
So it's part of a process of trying to be more genuine and appreciative of others, and connect with them on a deeper level. It's part of that. It happens to be something that's easy to program because you can say, "I'll do one card a day." And if you do one card a day, it's easier to commit to a task than just to say, "I'm going to feel a certain way." I could say I love everyone in the world. I hope they love me back. It's not just, it doesn't just happen. But so for me, it reminds me every day of what do I need to do. And one of those things that I need to do is completely selfless and send something to people, as opposed to like most of what I'm doing the rest of the day of task, 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 task. I need to do this board package. I need to call this client. I need to call a certain number of people and so on and so forth. All incredibly important things to do. But this is just that one emotional thing that I can, trigger. So, and I'm starting to get more referral business. I'm sure it's not just because of send that cards. It's because of, a lot of things, but this is obviously, one easy way. And then I'll tell you one other thing that I did that got me a really good lead. I have a building that I'm doing business in, and I'm sorry, but I'm not a good background, but this is one of these cards here. You can't see it. I can share it with you anyways.
Oh, there, right there, right there.
It's a picture of the building and it just says unstoppable underneath. So if it's send the cards, you could just get these like things where you upload a picture and it just puts like something over it. And this is a picture. It's not even a pretty picture. I got it on Google. And I just took this picture of the building and I didn't know what to send the building. So I wanted to send something to the building and I just put this thing said unstoppable. And then I wrote inside the card, it's just a handwritten text. Like it's typed in, but it's with their handwritten font type thing. And it basically said, "We've all gone through a lot this past year with COVID and whatnot, but we're basically unstoppable. And that business is beginning to grow now. Listings are beginning to come to the market. And, we've gotten through we've gone through hard things before. It's time to soar." And somebody called me and called me in for an appointment. And I got the listing and I got an offer accepted on it now within the week, which is crazy. And I asked her, Brianna, I said, "Brianna, why did you call me?" And she said, "Well, you sent me a card in the mail." I said, "Okay. How many other people send you cards in the mail?" She said, "I get flyers all the time." I know. So like, why did you call me? And in New York City, you get like a billion stuff in the mail. It's just like toilet paper you get in the mail. And she said, "Well, yours is a little different. It said like unstoppable on it. It was like a little kind of, it's kind of positive. I like the positive slant. There's been a lot of talk in the building about things people don't like about the board. And like, everybody's like this negative talk. And you came in here and saying we're awesome. So like, I just thought that was really positive." So I just give this guy a call. Let's see what he's about. So that was it was a card to probably 100 people in that whole building. So it was to a lot of people, but it was personal in my experience with the building, and it was not one of my beautiful cards. It's usually these cards that are not the most beautiful, but they're more authentic, that actually work. So
And it was the
anyways, that,
right, it was the right card at the right place at the right time for that person. And that's why we have to always be consistent. If as long as we're consistent in our efforts, you know, it's levels of consciousness, right? You have level one, you don't think about it, you don't do it. Level two, you think about it, you don't do it. You were probably at level two for a long time with send out cards. You thought about it, but you didn't do it. And then
yeah.
you started to think about it and you did it. And now you might still be in level three. It takes time to get to that level four where it just becomes a habit. It's just part of what you do every day without thinking about it. And I look forward to the day that you get that. You keep getting these testimonials and these successes that find you, Michael. Does it inspire you to want to just keep doing what you're doing?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a nice thing to do. People appreciate you, and it pays handsomely at the end of the day. So, but it won't pay handsomely right away. Uh, like that person that responded to the unstoppable card, that's a lucky break. But I've been getting a lot of lucky breaks. So it just, I think it's just it's a mentality. If you have the mentality where you want to connect more emotionally with people and you want to connect on a human level, then you need to do something. So either you can hand write a card every day, like literally hand write it out, and send that to people, and that's a great thing to do.
Mhm.
But if you're someone that wants to automate it a little bit, make it a little bit easier, and add some flair to it, like a picture or things like that, um, then this just makes it easy to do it. So I feel fortunate that it's a software that's around and that I get to use it, and I'm just lucky that you sent me cookies and a card,
I'm
whenever
lucky
that was,
I sent you
years
the
ago.
card.
Yeah, you sent it to me with because I wouldn't have known about this. So
Well,
um,
and I believe that I have to go back and look, and that's the beauty of send out cards is the card history. But I think it was because of Snapchat. You did
yeah,
an
well,
interview.
yeah.
You did an interview with, I believe, Tristan Ahumada and Lab Coat Agents, and I
Oh
saw
yeah.
that interview, and I'm
Yeah.
like Snapchat just kind of freaked me out. I was beyond that, but you intrigued me, and so I leaned in and had fun finding some things to send you a card, Michael. Go ahead.
Like Snapchat at the beginning worked really well for me because I would do one-to-one messages, and I like that you couldn't edit very much, so you could just snap and send. So I would just reach out to so many people and I would respond to everybody, and it was very personal versus other things where you edit your photos and you do a lot of work to it before you send it out. This was just like, it is what it is, and I send. And send out cards to me is a very similar type of structure where I can type something quickly, I can spell check it very quickly, and I can upload a picture and send it very quickly. So it's just it allows me to do those personal sends that I would do on social in paper form. I think both are important. But obviously when you send somebody something tangible, there's their value to it.
Well, Michael, it's been a pleasure to coach with you over the last 90
Thank
days.
you.
And I look forward to continuing our journey because, you know, we just kind of get check-ins every now and then to see how you're doing. Continue the great work that you're doing with your business, your family, and growing those relationships. And I'm excited to see where this leads in the future. So thanks for being on here. Thanks for sharing your story and inspiring those who are going to be watching the replay. Welcome to the replay. And I hope you took some great nuggets away from what Michael had to say today. It's up to you to take your business and treat it like a business, but love on people, be kind, be caring, be heartfelt, and you will attract that back to you. So Michael, thank you again for being here today.
Thanks a lot.